Okay, well, yeah, we have our silver yearbook. What we're finding is, what you looked at is the silver market's gone through a major structural change, the last 2.5 years, and we're in pretty much a consolidation phase. So if you go back to the first half of 2019, you had silver prices basically around $15, maybe a little bit below that. And the price rose to $20 on an annual average basis in 2020, and then $25 on an annual average basis in 2021. And that was fueled by a very sharp increase in investment demand for silver. And it coincided with a large increase in gold demand too. And it coincided with the COVID pandemic and the economic lockdown and the deep recession and a lot of economic uncertainties and a variety of other problems that cropped up and concerns on the part of investors. So investors have basically more than doubled their silver investment demand from 2019 to 2020. And then they increased it another 50% last year. It's off a little bit this year, but it's still pretty high compared to where it was in 2019. Okay. And so that's keeping the silver price above $21, $22. But it's not driving the price higher at this point. Well, the biggest use of silver is in silverware and jewelry, but that's actually like 4 different industries, because there's decorative jewelry, then there's jewelry that's bought in various parts of the world as a quasi-investment. It has a very low markup to the silver bullion price. There's silverware, there's silver objects to art, and then there's also silver that is made into statues and silverware that also has a quasi-investment use. So I have, for example, a Ganesh statue, which is exactly 10 ounces of silver. It's a beautiful statue. I probably wouldn't sell it, but I do know what its value is in terms of its meltdown value, because it's exactly 10 ounces of silver. That's the biggest use of silver in fabricated products, silverware and jewelry. The next largest use is electronics, where it's used all over the place in connectors and contacts and semiconductors. It's used in numerous different applications because of its high conductivity. It's used increasingly in solar panels, and that probably is now up there around the 3rd largest use. Going back to the electronics, it's used a lot. A lot of the electronics uses in auto. But it's used in brazing alloys, ethylene oxide catalysts for manufacturing ethylene oxide. It's used in mirrors and bearings and a host of other uses too. So that, the use is spread across manufactured goods.
Right.
We've been saying that we expected a recession most likely in the period 2024, 2025.
Okay.
So, that's important then, because that suggests that you probably have, 18 months or longer now still before you go into a recession. So we're still looking for modest growth in silver use in electronics for the next 6 quarters, and that our expectation has been that a recession probably wouldn't start until 2024. Now, let me just say, in, 2007, we thought that there would be a recession in 2009, and it actually started in late 2007, went through 2008 and into 2009. So it's difficult to project the exact timing and all, but our view, which I think the Fed sort of said is their view yesterday, by virtue of what they did with interest rates and what they said, our view is that there's still a lot of rope in the economy, and we probably won't see the U.S. go into a recession until 2024. But there are gigantic economic, financial, and political issues that could upset the apple cart sooner. You'd see less industrial use for the metal in a recession, but that's a relatively less important factor in terms of the price. The price would probably rise sharply because of safe haven investor demand. If you look at the relationship between macroeconomic trends, recessions, and periods of economic growth, and silver prices tend to do well during moving into a recession and into the early portion of a recession, because it's really investment demand that drives the price. When I was talking about the price of silver from 2019 to 2021, I wasn't talking about fabrication demand. I was talking about investment demand, which doubled in 2020 and took the price up from $15 to $20, and then investment demand rose another 50% last year. and the price of silver rose another 25, 27% last year. So you're looking at investment demand, which really drives the price, and investment demand tends to rise when you have economic stress, like a recession or high inflation leading to higher interest rates, leading to a recession.
Before we continue, help us clicking that YouTube like button and subscribe now to our channel. This shows the algorithm that you valued this information. And it helps us spread that message. Sharing is caring. And now, let's continue.
I have bad news for you. If you're not rich by now, you're screwed. And if you're in debt, you're even double screwed. How so, you might wonder? Well, the sad truth is that you're working your whole life to make someone else rich. The mega corporations, the banks, the politicians, everyone is getting richer. They get your money. And what is even worse, they get your time, they get your life. You are not even in a rat race, you're in a financial prison. But what could a solution for you look like? Honestly, I don't know, but I know what a solution for me would look like. It's very simple. I use whatever money I have and I multiply it with 1,000. This could make my life much easier and probably yours as well. If you have $1,000 available and multiply this with 1,000, I believe that this could solve some financial issue for the one or the other. Of course, if you're ugly, you would have to multiply it with much more than 1,000. My name is Markus Dahn, and this is what I decided to do. I decided to 1000x my money. This is not a joke. I know what you may be thinking. What is this guy talking about? How should this work? This is not possible. Well, I made a detailed video where I laid out my plan. And some clever folks might even want to look at this plan and copy it and do exactly what I do. This is just a little hint on the side. You have two options. You leave, you forget what you have seen. You do whatever you're doing and you hope that somehow you get some other results. Good luck with that. Or you click the link below the video. You enter your email address because I'm not showing this to everybody. You at least watch my video on how I plan to 1000x my money. The choice is yours. Make the right choice. Join me. See what a different future you could have. See at least how I intend, how I plan to do the 1000x. So click on the link below, enter your email address, and I see you on the other side. Your Markus Dahn.